Hi folks, welcome to After the Checkered Flag here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Lee Diffie and the GOAT Ricky Carmichael with you. What an afternoon we just witnessed here with some thrilling racing. We'll get to the 450s in a moment. First up, let's talk East-West 250 showdown. It didn't disappoint.
Oh, it didn't. It's so much anticipated. I couldn't wait to watch these guys go. The best from the East, the best from the West. It brings me back to my days when you line up with the opposite coast, and there's a lot of pride on the line and egos on the line. But at the same time, there's a big picture on the line for both Jet Lawrence and Christian Craig, and it definitely didn't disappoint.
So West Coast wins out in the bragging rights with Hunter Lawrence and Christian Craig being from the West Coast. They get first and second. And East Coast Championships, Jet Lawrence getting third. I think the track played a big part in how much we enjoyed the afternoon just because of how well it raced.
Well, it did. It raced really well. There was a lot of passing zones all over the track, especially the sand in the split lane section. The whoops were very slippery. And I'm just pleasantly surprised at how well the Dirtworks guys did on this track. There was a lot of rain this morning. One of the drains in the track quit working, so it was basically like a lake. However, it turned out to be a lot of fun. The only thing I wish Jet wouldn't have crashed, I think that him and his brother probably would have been 1-2. And then the last thing, me being an East Coast guy, I'm a little bummed that the East Coast crowd, the East Coast didn't win. So, you know, we live to fight another day in Salt Lake City, I guess.
Listening to Jet Lawrence's interview, and he was thrilled to be on the podium after falling, and he dropped as low as 15th and worked his way back to third. But I was watching you, and you were nodding in acknowledgement as he was speaking. And the one interesting thing is he said that I was rushing again.
Yeah.
Do you see that in his riding? Or
I didn't really see it in his riding. I think he's made leaps and bounds throughout this year. That was one of the things that I was kind of focused on through his progression this season, and I think he's made leaps and bounds. He certainly has. So it's been a lot of fun to watch. I love watching guys be able to take mistakes that they've made and not make those again and improve and learn from what they did wrong. It's comforting, and I love watching that kind of progression.
Jason Anderson won the 450 class main event for the 4th time this year aboard his Monster Energy Kawasaki. Won it and won it well. Does that make you feel, though, as with 3 races to go, I wish there wasn't a 53-point advantage to Eli Tomac?
100%.
Because of the way he rode, how well he rode, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And I go back to how well he was riding those first 8 rounds. And then we went to Detroit, and he hit his head and couldn't finish. And that was really, you know, that was a stiff punch in the gut for sure because he lost so many points. And, of course, Eli won that weekend. So the worst possible situation that could happen. But it's great to see. I feel like how he looked tonight was like what we saw when he was winning those races beginning in the series.
2 other things to take note of from the 450 main. Cooper Webb commented after the race that that's probably the fastest that he has ridden this year. He feels like he's back at it. And a tremendous comeback again aboard the factory Honda HRC machine by Chase Sexton. So his younger teammate Jet Lawrence did it in the 250s. Sexton came back, and also interesting post-race comments saying, I think that's the best I've ridden my dirt bike this year.
Yeah, it's hard to hear him say that because some of the races that I've watched him and witnessed, the one he almost won in Minneapolis, I mean, I didn't think you could ride any better than that. But we talked about it a little bit. I think it's that new generation of riding. And when I talk about new generation of riding, examples would be like Chase Sexton and Jet Lawrence. They operate at a different level, and they ride bikes completely different. It seems like they take different lines. But a lot of fun to watch, and kudos to Cooper Webb to stay in that grind. We all know it hasn't been a year that he's wanting to remember, but to keep plugging along and got really close to a podium, I like that.
A fine podium by championship leader Eli Tomac, and the big point to take note of is Eli can wrap up his 2nd Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship in as many as 3 years next weekend at Foxborough in Massachusetts. It's all to play for there, and then he can breathe a sigh of relief. So we'll see you in a few days in Massachusetts.